And of course, Game 4 is going to be on Zodiac. I think it's a fairly balanced Zerg versus Protoss map. The two islands on this map come into play, and JF is the shuttle master, so it's going to be interesting to see if DinOt decides to take those two islands, given that JF is known for his High Templar drops, his Reaver drops. Those islands are typically Zerg territory, but against a great drop player like JF, it might be dangerous to take them.
Yeah, it might. And for those of you who recall Rondo versus DinOt here, a really interesting game. DinOt took a quick third base, and it was like extremely far away from everything. And then, of course, he took his fourth base was the other natural. So, really, DinOt, I mean, he shows some really weird style, but he could definitely take a game on this map with his weird builds. And as you said, you know, drops being so good on this map, I think it does favor Jeff just a little bit. You know, he's just so good with those shuttles, with those Reavers. So as long as he can prevent any really weird quick stuff, he's going to be able to really, you know, hurt DinOt with those Reavers and his good macro and micro. So anyways, let's get on to the game. Hit it, Hotbit.
It's showtime.
And here we go. This is the Razer TSL round of 8. We have JF against DinOt. Right now, JF is leading this best of 5 series with 2-1. And so this, of course, is a crucial game. JF could perhaps eliminate DinOt in it, but DinOt, of course, he's going to be fighting hard. Last game he showed us, even from an 0-2 deficit, that he could take games. This is Zodiac. We have JF over at 3 o'clock. We have DinOt over at 9 o'clock. And, you know, it's pretty far away bases. So I'm thinking that that is pretty decent for Zerg.
Yeah, for sure. Given that every Protoss and his mother fast expands these days, Zerg is going to want to be as far away from that Protoss base as possible. So when he lays that third hatchery at a third base, he can just survive the rush distance. I mean, the +1 Zealots come later, the Dark Templar come later, the Corsairs come later. Really helps him out. But of course, the one thing to note is that they don't share an island. So, I mean, we wouldn't be surprised to see JF take the island as his third base, open up with some sort of Corsair strategy, maybe open up Bisu, and then add a robotics, make a shuttle out of it first, take that island, and then go on to harassing with storm drops and whatnot. He's shown his shuttle play on this map, where he actually opened up taking the island first against Cloud in a PvP, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the island playing a big factor in this PvZ.
Oh, it definitely could. And once JF takes that island, it's going to be very hard to get it back. Amongst photon cannons, you know, maybe some High Templars up there, and of course shuttling in his famous Reavers. You know, that's going to be almost a free base if JF decides to take it. You know, to break that, DinOt would have to have a lot of units and a lot of free time to get over there. So, you know, it's a good position for JF, but also a good position for the Zerg, as you said. It's going to be hard for, you know, anything that JF makes to get over there in time to kill drones. And we see, looks like, what is this, a 12 pool out of DinOt here? Or maybe, yeah, well, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, something like that, 12, oh, 12 hat, 12 pools, sorry, I missed that. Anyways, JF does scout quite quickly, and he is making that forge actually before the Nexus because of scouting a little bit late. It was, it looks like the second base he scouted, so there's his timing's all set on that.
See, the scouting drone of DinOt actually was blocking that Nexus at the natural of JF. Unfortunately, he had to build an extractor to get full life as the probe was harassing him. But and JF was able to lay the Nexus down at that point. But the drone actually is doing quite a bit of damage to this probe. That's kind of strange. That seems a little backwards. But the cannon now going down at the natural. And of course, because DinOt was able to lay his 12 hatch and force JF to make his forge first, as he hadn't scouted if if DinOt was going 9 pool or 5 pool or something like that, you have to make the forge first to play safe. That means his expansion is going to come a little later, and that means in the early game DinOt is going to take a small economical lead.
And DinOt, he's already going for that, heavy macro build again, and he is taking his third base already, and it's much different than the third base he took against Rondo. This is the one, that third base attached to his main. So that's going to be a lot easier for him to defend if JF, goes for any very quick attacks. Maybe a Zealot or two just sent out, see if he can harass before DinOt has the appropriate amount of Zerglings. So it's a good choice there by DinOt, and I got to tell you, I like this play that he's doing. He's showing us, he went with that really weird cheesy build on Withering. It was more of a Protoss map, but this map, much more comfortable map for Zerg players, and he's definitely playing a macro style, so JF is also going to have a chance to macro, and they're just going to, have a total battle that way. We see that DinOt has taken his 4th hatchery right before his gas, so yeah, he is definitely going for a total macro game here.
Yeah, and the Cybernetics core is out. We're approaching 100 gas, so of course this is going to be the time when we see if JF decides to go +1, or if he is going to add that Stargate and go Bisu build. I'm going to guess it's going to be Bisu build, but of course no one knows except JF and DinOt. 4th hatchery down, Creep Colony going down now for DinOt at his natural, just to defend against Zealot harassment. Doesn't need one at his third base yet, but we see the Zealot is actually making its way out now. To the natural. It's going to be turned around by the Sunken Colony, but if it decides to go to this this third base, it could have a few drone kills there. So now we see tons of gas for JF. He hasn't started +1, so we're going to expect to see the Stargate very soon, and he'll probably move towards a Bisu build. Hydralisk Den now, and the Lair just started for DinOt, so he's going to defend these Corsairs with Hydralisk, move into Lurkers, or maybe he'll start with the double Hydralisk upgrade, as we've seen so many times from him. I really hope he doesn't, because I think that plays into JF's hand, but we'll have to see what happens.
Indeed, and we see that JF has a probe down at 6 o'clock. He scouted, that inside third base of the 6 o'clock. He scouted the natural and the main, and so that shows that he's really paying attention to the TSL games. He definitely went through and watched the game versus Rondo, saw that DinOt expanded to such an odd location, and actually scouted there before he scouted the third base that is more likely for DinOt to take, which DinOt did end up taking. So that is an interesting little thing to note there. JF is totally aware of DinOt's style and the different choices he's made so far here in TSL. And we see now it looks like a similar build to the game on Blue Storm. We have a Corsair coming out for JF here, and a Robo at his natural, so definitely we're going to see that island expansion taken, and most likely we're going to see some Reaver play as well.
Yeah, and that's going to be a little bit difficult for DinOt to realize until it's too late, possibly. We've got 2 Corsairs out harassing the Overlords from DinOt. Support Bay going down now. We still don't see a Citadel, so we're gonna have to see if this is straight up Reaver Sair, or if it is, or if he's gonna switch into more gateways later. +1 is started on the Forge. +1 attack for the Protoss player. So that points us towards thinking that he is going to switch over to ground. That Corsair takes a ton of hits at the natural. All its shields are gone. And DinOt is researching Overlord speed and Hydralisk range. He has quite a few minerals, actually, so we should see either another hatchery, possibly another expansion as he looks to defend. And I mean, he must be thinking at this point that Dark Templar are coming, but of course we can see that JF is going to be making a shuttle and a Reaver, and is going to be following up his Corsair harassment with Reaver play and not Dark Templar play.
And here that probe comes over, it being dropped on the island first thing from that shuttle, and in the meantime he is getting shuttle speed with the +1 from ground. So yeah, it looks like we're going to see an extremely similar build that we saw on Blue Storm from JF. And I mean, that Blue Storm game, I think that was JF's strongest game so far, so definitely he's falling back into that really strong play. First Reaver does pop out. Those Zerglings do see it, I believe. They got up really close to those cannons. A very nice scouting timing from DinOt there. And so one Reaver is ready, and he's loading up with 2 Zealots. He's not waiting for shuttle speed. He's not waiting for his second Reaver. He's going out, he's scouting ahead with the Corsairs, getting a flight path for his shuttle. You know, he doesn't want Zerg to see he's coming. He doesn't want anything in the way, and so that's a very smart move here by JF. So he's flying across the 12 o'clock main. Looks like he is going to want to first drop the main of DinOt here. And meanwhile, DinOt, he does have Hydras up there. He knows what's going on, and it looks like he wants to intercept the shuttle. A lot of Hydras going towards the middle of the map, but the shuttle, it looks like, is it going to go to the third base? I'm not too sure. He's flying in right behind it now, just kind of sitting there. Kind of, I think he's in vision of DinOt right now. So DinOt's going to be ready. Yes, he was. The Hydras moved back into position. A lot more Hydras coming in. And DinOt is flanking the shuttle here. He almost takes down, but speed finishes. JF gets out of there. That was really dangerous. He really lost a lot of hit points on the shuttle there. If he had lost that, DinOt would have been in just a beautiful position.
Yeah, we can see DinOt has finished Overlord speed, and he's getting drop. I mean, if JF had lost that shuttle, DinOt could take his own island really easily. And of course, JF doesn't want that. Once a Zerg takes his own island, it's very difficult for a Protoss player to break that, simply because every Overlord becomes droppable, and Protoss doesn't really need that many shuttles, so it's kind of a waste to make just to break that island. DinOt in complete map control now. He's moving a bunch of Overlords to bottom right. Looks like he knows JF has taken bottom right, and he wants to load up to crack that. JF realizes that. It looks like he's dropping the Reaver. Looks like he might pick up some probes to Maynard over there. Or is he going to pick up these two Reavers to help defend? DinOt moving in. This is going to be close. Drop has just finished, so DinOt is going to be loading up right now. JF is rushing to get those two Reavers over there. They're going to get over there in time to help defend. Hopefully for DinOt, he does not drop on those Reavers, because that's going to be a disaster. The shuttle actually has not dropped on the island yet, and DinOt also has not dropped on the island either. Just loading up his Overlords. It's going to be interesting to see, is he going to go for the main? Is he going to go for the island? I would have thought island, but it looks like he's moving towards the main, and it looks like JF might have smelt that because he kept his Reavers in the main. He's actually unloading now, some sort of hacker sense, as DinOt moves his Overlords in to drop. Three Reavers are positioned beautifully. DinOt realizes he cannot drop over there. That would be a disaster. JF testing the structural durability of his pylon, taking out all the shields there, and just a little jostling here back and forth. Here he comes now, dropping on the expansion. That Overlord just drops. Reaver shuttle coming out. Both Reavers get dropped out. DinOt is going to have to run away. This is going to be a disaster for him. Tons of cannons and Reavers here just carving everything up, and DinOt takes a ton of losses there, basically killing nothing but a few cannons. Really unfortunate that that played out like that, but JF is looking in a clear advantage now.
Yeah, that was a hurtful thing to watch DinOt do there. Those cannons just ripped it apart in tandem with the Reavers. And one thing I would like to point out is that JF right now, he does have two forges. He has +1 attack already. He's getting armor and plasma shields. So yeah, plasma shields this early in the game. JF, you are pretty cool, man. Those are going to definitely help his buildings stay alive better against these Hydras. You know, it's the only upgrade you can get for cannons. So, you know, they're going to live a little bit longer against these Hydras. A nice move there by JF. Very original. You don't see that too often. And so JF, it looks like he's gearing up, getting ready to macro. He's adding a ton of gateways in his main base right now. Looks like he's going to be going up to about 7 gates, as well as pretty much non-stop Reavers out of that, as well as Templars coming out now. So he does have Psystorm researched. And JF is just going to get extremely cost efficient. But DinOt has taken his 4th base, so DinOt staying ahead economically just a little bit. He's going to have to get something else done pretty soon here, though, because JF is going to get one of these sick death blobs pretty quickly off of 3 bases.
If we look at the supplies, we can see Protoss is capped at 107, whereas whereas DinOt, the Zerg player, is at 120. So Zerg ahead of Protoss. That really favors the Zerg player. And we can see there is a ton of gas on this map, Zodiac. Every expansion having a geyser, and that really helps out Zerg too. The one thing that's going to help out JF is that DinOt's unit composition looks a little strange. He's got a very Sauron-esque army, well, just a few lurkers and a Reaver drop coming in now. Single Reaver in a speed shuttle going to the main of DinOt. We're going to see there's a few Hydras set up. JF trying to dodge around. He's very quick on his shuttle reaction and flies it in, taking only a single hit. And just looking at this blob that DinOt is forming in the center of the map, it looks pretty scary to me. If he does get up with full upgrades on those Zerglings and those Hydralisks, that's going to be difficult for JF to deal with, even though he's working on 3 geysers.
Yes, but Look at this. He has a lot of High Templars. Look at that army. That's almost completely High Templars. I don't know if Jeff realizes those don't hit buildings, but you know, his army is extremely small in relation to those, so he's going to want to get his storms off very quickly, because as soon as the Dragoons and Zealots go down, those Templars are just going to be, you know, fish in a barrel. And it looks like JF is going up this ramp. Maybe he's looking for some position, or maybe to take a 4th base. He does send a probe up, so, but look at this. He's walking down now. This is like a deadly attack. Look at this. He has got so many High Templars with that army. That is like 8 High Templars plus 2 Reavers and some Goons and Zealots. But a nice flank here by DinOt. Storm going off, the Reaver's being dropped, and a nice dodge of the Storm, but no, the DinOt just attacking with a very small amount of his army, and it gets cleaned up quite quickly by about 3 Size Storms and the Reavers. And here DinOt goes now for real this time, and he burrows those Lurkers. They're quite clumped though, but they are right on top of those Templars. A lot of Templars dying. Oh my god, all the units of JF just melting under those really quick flank from DinOt here. And wow, JF just lost a huge amount of gas army, and DinOt, that a very nice attack there, very well timed. He had him spread in a beautiful arc, and he's definitely pulled ahead with that attack.
Yeah, those Lurker spines look like they just took out tons of Templar, and then the remaining army just moved in and cleaned up. DinOt looks like he's in a commanding position at this point. He's at 150 supply, whereas JF is at 130, just pumping off. Looks like he has about, I'm going to say, 9 gateways, the 10th at the expansion. He's trying to take that 12 o'clock inside base again. We see no Queen's Nest yet from DinOt, and we see no 5th base. So he's comfortable working off 4 bases and just trying to stop JF from taking a 4th base. Of course, that 4th base JF is trying to take now is the 12 o'clock inside base. Tons of Lurkers sitting there, kind of clumped up. JF is moving towards those Lurkers. DinOt looking to flank in from tons of directions. A good Size Storm goes up there, killing a ton of units. Wow, another Size Storm, another Size Storm. Pretty much infinite Size Storm going off, and looks like the Lurkers are coming into flank. And it's looking very good for DinOt as he's coming in, cleaning up this army, and he's moving up into the 12 o'clock base. He's going to force a cancel there while he drives back JF's army, and JF's army is driven back to the bridge while he loses that 12 o'clock inside nexus. Very good play by DinOt.
Yeah, DinOt, I mean, I love this kid's style. He is a total Sauron Zerg, a total throwback. I mean, he is mass meat style all the way. Look at all of these units that he just keeps making. And here we go, JF coming back out again, a heavy Goon army, a couple Size Storms going off, and he just busts up some Lurkers. A nice little attack right there, just peeling away some of DinOt's units. But look at this mini-map, green everywhere. There are just a ton of units from DinOt here, and he's got very nice upgrades. He's got +1 melee, +1 ranged, and +2 carapace, whereas, wow, JF has beautiful upgrades as well. He has the +2 attack, +2 armor, and +1 to plasma. So we have a huge armies going on right now. A lot of spellcasters for JF, so many Templars still mixed in because of that quick 3rd gas. And DinOt, he just has so many of these tier 1 and tier 2 units. Still no Hive, a little bit surprisingly, at the Zerg main. But he has a lot of units, and here we go, JF attacking into it once again. He pulls back pretty quickly. There's just too many units out there right now. He has got to be careful. He's got to get his storms up just right. And it looks like there are not too many Lurkers left, so JF is going to be able to charge in there a lot more quickly. And here we go. Size Storms going off. 1, 2, 3 Size Storms, 4 Size Storms. They are just blanketing the screen all over the place. What are you, Jangy? What is going on here? He's killing a lot of Zerg units. Look at this. Oh my god. It's just Size Storms everywhere. This is just ridiculous. He has killed so many units during this attack, but he does not have that many left. He's down to just a handful of Dragoons. But look at all these rallies just coming in from DinOt. A lot of Zerglings coming in. Very good against this heavy Dragoon army. But the Archons will be popping out, and those are going to take a lot of hits from the Zerglings. And JF is just pulling his way right back in this game. Look at this. More and more units. DinOt just does not stop macroing. Wow, he is very quick. These units just keep on coming in, pounding on these poor Dragoons. But JF, also relentless. He just rallies in a never-ending battle in the middle of the map. And finally, DinOt decides, you know what, I gotta pull back, I gotta get my units together and do a good attack here, because he has lost a lot of supply. He has dropped down, he's at 110 right now. JF up at 150, and it looks like JF wants to take out one of DinOt's bases right away. DinOt has taken the bottom of the map. He has all of 6 o'clock bases. during all of this action up here. So Jeff's going to want to take those out very quickly, or DinOt's economy is going to get out of hand.
And it looks like JF is thinking about taking the 3 o'clock inside base, putting up some cannons there. He's got a probe waiting to warp in a Nexus. And the hive of DinOt is just about completed. JF moves into bottom right. He's going to clean up that bottom right expansion, and he's probably going to clean up 6 o'clock as well. We're going to have to see if DinOt decides to try to save that, or if he just waits outside the bridge to flank. Looks like he's waiting outside. That is a smarter move. He's probably going to just rally his army there, force JF to fight coming through the bridge. And it looks like JF knows this. He's bringing tons of Dragoons back while only attacking with a few units. DinOt looks ready to flank. The hive is complete. No adrenaline glands researching as of yet, but this is pure Dragoon, and that is going to fall pretty quickly to Zergling Hydralisk unless JF has crazy micro, which he does, but I don't even know if he can get it done against the Zerg army, just the way it's composed. Looks like there's going to be a battle here soon. Looks like DinOt is not paying attention. Now he is. Everything moving in. Looks like JF's army is going to melt if he's not careful. He's fighting on the bridge, but even still, just Zerglings flooding in. That Archon is struggling to get in front. Now the Archon is in the battle. JF is actually flanking with a bunch of Zealots actually coming in from behind. Looks like he's going to clean up from behind with just speedy Zealots. And wow, JF is going to come way ahead in this game. DinOt has dropped down below 100, and JF is at 150 now supply. And it doesn't look like DinOt can defend many of his bases, despite being at hive, despite having 4 mining bases. Looks like JF is actually way in the lead at this point.
You know, while JF is in the lead, anything could still happen here, because JF's main has mined out, his natural is just about gone, but his third base on the island is still going strong. Meanwhile, DinOt, he is still mining pretty much full capacity from 4 bases. So JF has to do something right now, and he knows that his economy is going to run out. He's taking another base, that inside natural, but here he goes. He's going to attack while he has the huge army, and it's a very good move. He's just killing a lot of DinOt's units that were off in the middle of the map, and he is just staying up by about 50 supply. And that is going to be so hard for DinOt to do anything. JF is going to kind of have to make a mistake here. He has so many High Templars, and his unit composition is actually pretty nice right now. You know, he's got plenty of speed Zealots to hold off the Zerglings, and here we go. He's attacking into the natural. It's a lot of Zerglings in there. He's morphing a few more Sunken Colonies, and if he can break this, it's going to be big. His Psystorm's going off behind, kills all the Hydras there. One Lurker running up, dies instantly. Oh my god, Psystorm's in the natural. He kills so many Zerglings with those. That is ridiculous. Psystorm is amazing. And he is just pounding right in. It looks like DinOt is going to be eliminated from the TSL. This attack is just too much. I do not think he can hold this off. And this is just too big. There are too many hatcheries here. This is the macro center of DinOt, a beautiful attacking spot by JF here. And he is just plowing it down. The drones come up. They do nothing at all. The Dragoons and the Psystorm just plowing through all these Zerglings that keep on rallying out. And DinOt is just not going to be able to do it here. JF looks like he is going to take this match down to 3-1. And the hatcheries are just going to fall right now. The supply is just getting ridiculous. JF at 130, and DinOt sitting tight at 60. So all these hatcheries just going down and going down. I expect any second now for DinOt to tap out. Right now it looks like he is getting ready for one more attack. Looks like he's going to be attacking the new expansion with just a few cracklings, but it's not going to be enough. There are already cannons there, and DinOt has to be feeling bad right now, but he has put up a good show, and GG. JF wins the series 3-1, a very nice CVP series. He moves on to the top 4.
Wow, JF looked beastly in that series. I mean, every game he gave himself a good shot. And I mean, Canada is represented well in the TSL, and so are my chances at that Razer mousepad, which is clearly going to be mine. So I mean, amazing play by JF. Good credit to DinOt. I mean, he played amazingly too. He was well ahead at one point in that game, but I mean, JF is just a monster PvZ, and his Psystorms are just, I mean, causing me to have an epileptic seizure at that point. There were so many.
Yeah, there were. I mean, there were a lot of Psystorms there. JF is just a Storm Master. He's a Shuttle Master. He is a master of StarCraft. I'm really impressed with his play. You know, he is one of my favorites to take down this whole tournament, and he showed just why there. I mean, DinOt, if he had gotten a lesser opponent, he may very well have moved on to the top 4.
Yeah, for sure. I think at this point we are going to take a 5-minute break. For those of you who don't need a break, you can just sit around. We're going to talk about the previous match, where there were a few mistakes, where players went wrong, and we also will be talking about the upcoming match, which of course is going to be Nooney against Gosia, a PVZ. So if you need a washroom break or smoke break, now would be the time to make it, and in 5 minutes we're going to be good to go in the second match.
Indeed, and a quick word about our sponsor, Razer. Make sure you guys visit Razer's site and everything. You know, Razer, a great company. They're always pushing forward in esports. You know, they sponsor about 58 teams. You know, they're always sponsoring events. I've even seen Razer logos on the Star Leagues in Korea on the walls and whatnot. So, you know, Razer, big thanks to them. Without them, this couldn't be possible. And of course, all the hardworking people at Team Liquid. You know, Hotbid, Kenneget, Manifesto, Chill, Rich, all those good guys, Yanis. There's just so many people, too many to name right now, but you know, without all these people's hard work, this league would not even exist.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier, but just in private, that Hotbid said he was feeling a little underappreciated. So what I want to do now is announce to everyone to go to the teamliquid.net website and send a PM to hot_bid. Just giving your thanks. We want to flood his inbox with a ton of thanks. And of course, if you don't have an account on TeamLiquid.net, it's really quick to make. Just get one and just use that PM right at the top left. His name is hot_bid, and just send your thanks for organizing this incredible Razer TSL.
Absolutely, I'm gonna PM hot_bid right away. Great 9 guy. Have any questions about Team Liquid or that type of thing, any help you need, he is an admin, so PM him right away.
And of course, I guess with that, let's do a little bit of a retrospective on that series. I mean, one thing I did notice in Game 4 was that DinOt actually finished with 5,000 gas in the bank, and we saw he really relies heavily on just his Zerglings and Lurkers, or excuse me, Zerglings and Hydralisks. Seems a little strange that he would not morph a few more Lurkers, given he had that much gas. I don't know if he was purposely saving them for Ultralisk, but his hive was quite late. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. It just seemed a little strange, especially at this high level of play.
Yeah, this isn't too typical of the ZVPs we see, but you know, it's really typical of old ZVPs. You know, it's that Sauron style. The Sauron, of course, using a huge amount of units and, you know, little other defense. Your defense is your units. You know, you can get aggressive, you can do flanks and stuff, and we keep on seeing DinOt do things like that, and it's really exciting to see. You know, it's like a breath of fresh air to the Zergs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, pretty much any other Protoss player would have died to those ridiculous flanks, but JF's Storms were just insane. I mean, in that final battle, excuse me, the second to last battle, which happened at the 3 o'clock inside natural, there was just, it looked like DinOt was moving in with possibly twice the supply, and it just melted to Psystorm. So I don't know. I really admire JF's play, and his Storms, his Reavers, his Shuttles. It's really ridiculous to see, and I think we're going to see a lot of great things out of JF as he continues to play in this Razer TSL.
Oh, definitely. I mean, next round he plays Brat, who we saw just decimate poor Dreven. I mean, Brat, a lot of you know, under the radar play there. People were not expecting him to do anything. No one really even knew who he was, and here he is. He's going to be playing JF next. What do you think about that match?
Just it's going to be ridiculous. I mean, Brat for me has gone under the radar up until the last match we saw him against Dreven. He is a Terran vs Protoss monster. I mean, that could have been any amateur semi-pro Korean in that game, in my eyes. And I think JF, a bit of a specialist against Zerg, may have his hands full against Brat. I hate to say it, as I hate all Terran players. It's just in my DNA. But I'm going to be cheering for Brat in that series.